Why settle for vanilla when there are so many flavors of ice cream? There's so many things to do in life. If you don't like what you're doing, my advice, what is it you want to do
Mm,
and how do you get there? Because
mm.
it's not where you come from, it's where you grow from and to.
Mhm. Hi, and welcome to Lead Well. Today, I have a guest with me, Sharon Burstein. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, how are you, Christine? It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, and it's great to have you. So, Sharon, you are an international leadership image speaker. We'll talk about that. You are an award-winning author and a globalist consultant who has spent decades helping leaders and organizations communicate credibility, confidence, and clarity. And what I really appreciate about you, Sharon, when I looked at your work, is that the leadership image in your world is not about polishing a surface. So it's not about the outside, it's about the inner alignment and how who you are, how you communicate, and how you show up actually match. I'm so glad you're here, Shannon, and I can't wait to hear your ideas about leadership image.
As you said, leadership is much more than leadership is what you do. Leadership image is who you are. So
Okay.
leadership image is inside, outside, top to bottom, inside out, and all around. It's how you walk, dress, speak, how you communicate, and all of those elements. Because what you do in leadership, but if you don't know what your leadership image is and the image that you project,
Hmm.
you may have all the right credentials, but if you project the wrong image, doesn't matter what you do, you are not going to be successful.
And so, how can I find out what my image is? How do I know?
That's a very good question. First of all, the number one, there are two things before we even get into the component parts of leadership image or being a success as a leader, no matter what you do.
Hmm.
That number one thing that all successful leaders do is that first they have to believe in themselves. You have to believe in you because if you don't believe in you, nobody else is going to believe in you. Even children. Can children spot a fake?
Oh,
In a
yes.
heartbeat. In a heartbeat, they can spot a fake. And leading with confidence. So you may be a PhD, you can have JDs, LDs, MDs, you can have a lot of titles, but unless you believe in yourself and unless you have confidence in yourself,
Hmm.
people are not going to believe in you. You could be a research person and be highly successful, but if you are going to really interact with people, how you project, how you walk, how you carry yourself, how you speak, all of those elements, how you dress, and it doesn't mean you have to dress up. I'm working on a ranch. I'm certainly not going to be wearing a suit. It dress for the job you have or the job that you want. But we do go through a process when I speak, and it's in the book too. It's in my book, What's Your Leadership Image, which is readily available in bookstores and on Amazon
Mhm.
around the world. We do go through with colors, we go through a variety. You can do it by yourself, but we can do it too, of how to evaluate a lot of those elements. And yes, they can change over time because you're going to change and evolve over time. You're going to grow.
So, are you saying that everyone can evolve into a leadership role, or are there born leaders?
Both. Again, a great question. You have great questions. There are natural born leaders, no question about it. And then there are those who may need more growth and understanding of what leadership skills are, and what the difference in being, because we all need leaders, we all need worker bees. Everybody can't be a leader. If everybody's a leader, there's going to be a
Mm,
lot of dissension. If you ever everybody's a worker bee, nothing's also going to get done because
mm.
everybody needs leaders. So you need a variety of all sorts. And the other thing, as a leader, great leaders also know when to lead and when to follow.
Mm. And
Perhaps
also, sorry to interrupt here because I just listened to a book from Brene Brown and I love her work. And she was talking about the difference between leadership and management. And I always thought that all managers should become leaders, but no, we need that management layer in between as well. So I think a leader also has to know when to manage versus to lead. Is that also?
That's very true. And there's a big difference. And management is control. Lots of times it's not leadership. You could be a dictator and manage, but you're not leading. Your title does not guarantee you leadership. Leadership is something that you have to earn through respect.
Yeah.
But the biggest skill of a great leader is not only listening, but hearing. And there's a big difference between listening and hearing. I'm listening to you. Yes, but are you hearing what I say?
Yeah. Yeah.
And leaders also leaders are visionary, but they have to convey that message. And smart leaders are not just about managing people, it's teamwork. So leaders are not about management. They do manage people, but a good leader will really build an effective team. Because what a really great leader wants to do is develop leadership skills in everybody below. Because as a leader, you may be going somewhere else. So if I leave this role, if I leave this company, if I sell this company, should it fail because I didn't train somebody? You should be inspiring other people to help them, give them the skill sets, to have the confidence in what they're doing. A lot of that is communication. What is our plan? So often companies, associations, and lots of people do not talk about what the goal and the plan is across departments. Why should marketing speak to accounting? Why should legal be involved? Why should marketing and advertising? They're all cogs on a wheel. And you have to also look at the more that you communicate your plan, everybody that is part of that company or organization are also ambassadors. So the more they know and understand, it also prevents stories that are not true to be formed. And while I have great ideas as a leader, and you have great ideas as a leader, do we have all the ideas?
And are we sure that we have the same ideas? If I don't communicate that to the associates, well, how should they know what my ideas are?
Communication and having it come back up. So almost like people talking about it again. So it's communicated in the same way, and it can be simple, but it needs to be communicated up and down. Doesn't mean it has to be dictated, because a plan is great, but somebody else may say, Sharon, that's great. And what if we added this? What if it could be better? Because people in different skill sets at different layers of any organization, with what my skill set may be down here, I may have said, this is how I think we should handle it. But somebody said, I do this every day. What if we change this a bit, this will be easier and more effective for everybody. So that's when you have to bring in that team. But a real cheerleader isn't just managing. A real leader is a cheerleader. You're cheering your team. You want to build those skill sets. I want you to succeed. I don't want to just manage you. If I just manage you, you're not going to grow.
Yeah. What I found out, which was also important, is I'm also ready to let go. Because especially when I'm working with young leaders who take over leadership roles, they're so into the details still. They have such a hard time to let go of the operational business. And I always share with them, this is not what the company is paying you for. And I think that's the other thing, that a lot of people, a lot of leaders, they really have a hard time letting things go. Is that your experience as well?
It can be, but you have to train leaders. You have to train people to also be visionary. You have to bring them in, because what's important to me, what's my purpose and passion may not be yours. So you also have to listen to other people. Why are you working for me? Why are you here? Not just for the paycheck, not for just what you're doing, but I want to know when, if you are, let's work to that. Because if there's something that you want, let's all work so you're happy, so you are able to have that or achieve that, whatever it is. But management isn't about sitting in a corner office. Management is also about walking around, being on site. So many leaders lose track and stay in their office. And when they walk into a building or a floor or a set of offices, people freeze. and go, oh my God, Sharon's here. Oh my God, what am I doing? We did something wrong. We screwed up, or everybody's on edge. As opposed to a really good leader with management walking around, walks in and it is known all the time. So it's good morning, Christine. How are you? And if they knowing a little bit about you, how are the kids? Did you have a good holiday? Just bringing something in so that people are used to you. And the reason that also is more effective is people will open up.
Yeah.
When you say, how's everything going? Everybody's going to go, fine. And as opposed to, hey, you know what? Last week when we were talking about this, afterwards I had this great idea. Can I share it with you now, or could we schedule a time so I could share it with you? It's something I think could really be beneficial for all of us.
Yeah.
So those types of things. Leadership is about a personality too. It's not hiding. It's not building shame with people. People have good and bad. We all make mistakes. Never let people have a fear of making a mistake. To me, fear is face everything and rise. So you want people to say, okay, if you make a mistake, we all make mistakes. Don't make that mistake again. That's the whole thing. But if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah. And I think, isn't that also something that a leader needs to be able to, is admitting their own mistakes?
Totally. This is where I went. I thought we were going, and it's clearly not working. So we're going to sit down here. We're going to dissect everything, and we're going to come up together with a plan. And so I want everybody's input. You could send something out ahead. I want this to be productive. And that's why retreats and things of that nature are also great. And bringing in different layers of people, not always just your top management, but sometimes individually, or bringing everybody in collectively. Because everybody should have a voice. When you think about your first jobs, sometimes you've said, this is good. We could do this a little better. Have you ever thought about that? One of the questions I love to ask is, who here has worked for an ineffective leader or known someone who has? Every hand goes up. So leadership does not come with a title. Leadership is about strength, understanding, courage, and sacrifice.
And I think it then takes quite some time to build up the trust with your employees, with your followers, and then it's pretty easy to lose that. So is there an inflection point? Have you ever had an experience with where there was an experienced leader and really respected leader that made a mistake and lost credibility through that?
I think it's not the mistake, it's how you handle a mistake. I've also owned media companies. Under crisis management, lying would be number one. If you want to cover something up and put it away, try and scuttle it away, it's going to be a disaster. Make a mistake, own up to it. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. We're human. Apologies. We're working on it. I've got a team working on it. We're working on it together. But honesty, clarity, communication, when you start covering up and start closing your doors is when panic and everything starts to unravel.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's something that every human being should be aware of. It's not only relevant for leaders.
It's taking responsibility. Everybody wants to take responsibility when something goes right. Sharon, that went great. Yep, that was my idea. Yep. When somebody comes in and says, okay, this is really wrong, it's, oh, wait, I'm sorry. I wasn't really here. I wasn't part of that group. So a good leader or a great leader takes responsibility and will take responsibility for the team too. If a team member is also experiencing responsibility, it shouldn't be, you have to handle that. Sometimes, and I do it all the time. Even I also publish a magazine, and I just had something happen about a month ago with one of my team members, and a person we were writing about, something became a difficult situation. So I was stepped in. I knew the person a little bit, and I did step in and just said, gently, trying to help the other person out, which it did, but letting them know that you're there to support them too. As much as I was trying to reach out to the person that we needed to make some corrections for, it's also my team member saying, hey, I've got you. I've got your back. When you have to let people know, because like in anything, you have to know that she can depend on me. I can depend on her. And that's also the ability of somebody to open up and saying, I've got this situation. Not saying, can you help me? But this is the situation. And then a good leader will stop and adjust. But a good leader needs to know when to also stop right then and there, whatever you're doing, listen and hear, and make some decisions to make those changes and help that out. Because in this particular case, it happened to be a feature article for our January issue. If I hadn't, we're on a monthly magazine. We are also on a very tight schedule every month. So it has to run smoothly. And it does. But sometimes you just have to blend in. And sometimes just being that extra layer above also gives people confidence.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, understanding people, getting your team members to know personal things about one another. Because honestly, we also spend more time at our work jobs, I think, than we do with our families.
Yeah. And as I said before, at the end of the day, my behavior in my family should not be that different from the behavior in my job role.
No, you should be one and the same. You should be true to yourself. It's not, your leadership image is like your shadow, like Peter Pan. Wherever your shadow goes, you go, but you can't copy my image. I can't copy yours. It's unique to you. It's like your DNA, and it fits you like a glove. And understanding the elements, how you walk, talk, speak, how you communicate. But even if you get people, and I do this all the time on stages, is I will have people join me on stage and just walk across or say hello. Then we'll talk about, how do you introduce yourself? How do you communicate? How do you walk? Shoulders back, standing erect, believe in you. And sometimes we all have to act as if you're coming through leadership or you're in a new role and feeling a little uncomfortable. Sometimes I'll say, act as if. Be the actor on stage. Act as if, be there for confidence. Your brain will follow. So if you deliver with constant confidence the message you want, and you believe, everybody else will believe. Because leadership is knowing and reading an audience. It's like speaking. It's like teaching. It's like being an actor, especially if you're doing live theater. Being able to read the audience. If you're an teacher, you need to see when you are teaching students, if they're glazing over, if they're enthused, if they're bored out of their mind. You need to be able to pivot and adjust and say, okay.
And care. Sorry to interrupt. And care, as you said before.
It's all about caring. We're all human. Nobody wants to be ignored. Nobody wants to be invisible. And even with those people who are invisible, why are they invisible? Why are you trying to hide? There's so much more to you. Trying to bring that out. And I'll ask you, how much does a compliment cost?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Feel good.
Lots of times people say, oh, shucks. When somebody says something, you don't have to say anything. Even walking in, I try to do at least 3 compliments before noon if I'm traveling or something. And it may be as simple as, oh my gosh, I love that scarf. Or do you know your eyes sparkle and shine every time you smile? Sometimes those compliments make somebody's day. Yeah. You don't know what somebody else is going through. And sometimes if somebody is looking unhappy, you don't have to say something derogatory because you don't know what's going on in that person's life at that time.
Yeah.
But maybe you can help lift them up a little bit.
Yeah. And as you said, it can be really little things.
Very little.
Your earrings, like your scarf, anything that you see, anything that you perceive and that you genuinely like about that person or appearance.
Absolutely. It's little things that make a difference. It's taking time. It's also great leaders give back. They help build other leaders. I do a conference, which is now in year 10, Leadership Summit America. And with Leadership Summit America, aside from bringing in Olympians and heads of industry and having people from all over the country and offshore attend, every year I invite 4 schools to bring 4 to 5 students and an administrator free of charge. And of course, we pay for everything. But it's also about building leadership skills in youth. The schools choose the kids. I have nothing to do with it. We bring them up on stage. We talk about aspirations. We talk about dreams. We then try to connect them to people in the audience who have already done that or are doing it. And it's just like light bulbs are going off with everybody. And the amount of mentorship and relationships, it's like everybody gets inspired. And again, whatever you can do to build leadership, give kids tools, because leadership should be taught and can be taught and is taught in some schools in a very good way. There are a couple of very good programs here in New York and in the States. But bullying, most bullies are not confident. So if you can start to develop confident kids and people, you'll find that people are less bullying because they believe in themselves. I believe, and we'll talk about it, I believe in me. I believe in who I am. I'm amazing. And it's amazing at first, sometimes people do, as you were talking about, with compliments, have difficulty. But if I have you for a day or two, by day two, you are screaming, I am confident. You are a whole different person. Everything I do is about changing lives and building futures. And I do 2 women's events too.
Wow, wonderful.
So
That's great.
Christine, life is a great adventure. Why settle for vanilla when there are so many flavors of ice cream? There's so many things to do in life. If you don't like what you're doing, my advice, what is it you want to do, and how do you get there? Because it's not where you come from, it's where you grow from and to. And the great thing about each new year as we begin a year, it's like getting a clean slate or a clean palette for you to design. So you can always have a fresh start, but I can't do your push-ups. I would like to lose 15 or 20 pounds, but somebody else working out for me isn't going to lose my weight. I have to do that way. I have to do the work if I want the result. And that's what people say. I've really written the goal down. It's okay. Did you write a plan? No, but that's my goal. And it's okay. But how are you going to get there? When are you going to do it? I don't know. Do you have a timeline for success? So all of those things, a goal without action is only going to remain a dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can dream it, you can do it, you can be it. But yes, you have to work.
Yeah. Yeah. But the work doesn't feel like work. If you're working towards your goal, it doesn't.
And you hit the nail on the head with that one, because when you are doing something you love, you are doing something you love, you are not working. You just are so passionate about what you do. It's a joy. So if you get up, and I did have a job, many years ago, and the job was great. The people were great. It was the management. It was toxic. And it only takes one person to create that toxicity. And I would walk in every day saying, I hate this job. And when they renewed my contract with a lovely big extender and lovely raise, I just said, thank you, but no. Sometimes you need to say, enough is enough. Yeah. This isn't for me. The people are for me, but if this is direction this is going, I need to move on.
Yeah, you need to care not only for others, but also for yourself.
But I think the other thing with people looking at leadership is change. Change doesn't happen by chance. Change happens with action. So if you want to change something about yourself or what you do, you have to be willing to make that change. And sometimes you have to look in the mirror, because when you look in the mirror, the person in that mirror is the person that everybody else is seeing. So if you're scowling, guess what? The world sees you scowling. If they see you angry or like always bunched up, that's how you're perceived. If they see you smiling and complimenting, and honestly, the more you smile, the more you retain information. The more you laugh, the more you retain information. And the happier you are, you're going to be happier in your career, leadership, in life. Because the leadership skills that you use in business are the same ones that go in your career and life. So you don't want to be an imposter. I'm this person in the office, but this person at home. No, same. You are the same person. You don't look different. I may wear a suit to the office or I may dress more casual when I'm home for different things, but that doesn't mean I'm a different person.
Yeah, I shouldn't be. I shouldn't play any roles. Yeah. So after all those years and with all your experience and expertise in this area, what are the things that still surprise you about humans and communication and leadership?
How many people, there's a couple things. How many people lack confidence? And I find that's increasing with social media. People are hiding more behind social media. Please get rid of all social media for children, please. It's destroying attention spans, confidence, and people are able to write more, hide behind things that they post. I think people have to get back out in the world, explore the world, and be the people they want to be. They're the 10 most powerful words in the world are, would you like to know them?
Sure.
If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. You can't make my changes. I have to do that. But understand that it's okay to change. Change is great. It's looking beyond what's on the horizon. What do you see? Where would you go? What would you like to do? And I love to ask my staff this. We do it at least once a year. What is your the biggest goal or biggest thing you want to do in your life? And if you weren't here, what would you be doing? And I have a photographer with my magazine who I'm so proud of. She went back 2 years ago. She had given up her master's and we got her back on track. She just graduated in December and she has a brand new job with a school district who sought her out because she is beyond thrilled. So it's like also encouraging somebody. Yes, I want her to be my photographer still. She shoots my covers and I have to be flexible more on our time for her to do it. And she wants to do it. So yes, we're going to do it. But meanwhile, she's achieved something. She said, I gave up on that 15 years ago. And I've got 4 courses left in an internship. And we've got to get you on track to do that. So helping people, encouraging, be the engine that encourages people. Because when you encourage people, they'll follow you. So you don't want people to work for you because they have to. A great leader has people working for them because they want to. And that's where great companies differ from many companies. Lots of companies you'll find that will say, we have such a hard time finding staff. And then there are other companies, it's like seldom have openings because they bring their people along. They look for skill sets. They'll also provide for education and showing people a growth pattern for where they can grow and happiness. So the more that people laugh and do things together, and when it's okay to take breaks and retreats. I take my team out for lunch. We do lots of different things together, team building. Sometimes it is team building. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we just go away. But little things can make a big difference. Remember, we're all human. Honestly, Christine, it comes down to one thing, the golden rule. Do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. And if you follow that simple thing, life is good. Being respectful, do unto others. How do you want to be treated? So if you have leaders, it's not about managing. How do you want? And there are different styles of management. And sometimes you have to adjust your management. Sometimes life is not all roses. A good leader also needs to know and stand up and take responsibility. And, when something needs to be stopped or something, you have to also sometimes take that uncomfortable position. But you can also explain the why. It's not only the what, but it's the why and the how.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think take into account that not everyone has the same types of motivation and it has the same characteristics and the same wants and needs. I also need to, and that's where you said, I need to not only listen, but also really hear what the other person wants.
And some people, and we need everybody. We need visionary leaders. We need people who think out of the box. That's what a leader does. They're thinking about things, and especially in technology, things that may not even exist yet. Creating things. When you think about what Mark Zuckerberg did, when you look at Facebook, computers, a lot of just about everything that exists, whether it's electricity, airplanes, they didn't always exist. Somebody had to dream it, to think it, and do it. But you need those other people. If you're going to build a car or you're going to fly an airplane, somebody has to help build it. There are many steps. So you can have the visionary leader, but you also have to be training all the other steps because all the other levels make everything work. So everybody has to work together in order to make it work. And of course, there's always going to be revision. Life is organic. Everything, the way everything around us, what we eat, how we dress, how we travel, all of that has changed through time, and leadership has to change to adjust as well.
Wow. As so many times, I could go on with you forever because it's so interesting listening to you and talking to you and with you. If we come to an end, and if a listener could take just one insight from this conversation into their next meeting or the next conversation, what would you want that to be?
Remember your ABCs. Always be confident. And I can't and believe in you. Believe in you, be confident, and live your dreams.
Wow. Those are fantastic final words. Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you so much for your insight. It's wonderful to listen to you and hear that, yeah, leader is just a human being and should behave as one and should be confident and show the world that they have a vision and what that vision is and share that with everyone. And then everyone is happier, isn't it? Because if you work for a leader,
everybody is happier. There's so much more productivity. You don't lose people. And don't forget, it's also easier if you get to know and take time to get to know your team. They don't want to leave you. They don't want to leave you. And it's a lot more time and a lot more investment if you leave, or if I've got a revolving door and if I have to keep bringing in people, if it isn't for growth, nobody should have a revolving door. If you've got a revolving door, you've got problems.
Wow.
And as a leader, you've got to say, time out. What is causing it? Is it me? Where are the potholes? And we've got to repair them.
Fantastic. Now, Sharon, if people want to learn more about you, find you, where should they go?
They can go to my website, www.sharonburstein.com, SharonB as in boy, URSTEIN.com. And my email is sharon@sharonburstein.com. My phone number is there. I love hearing from people. And I will tell you, especially if you call me or email me or text me, I always get back to people.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom with us. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to looking into your book and staying in touch with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful day and an inspired week.
Thank you.
This was Lead Well. Now, what is the one thing that you're taking away from this episode? Please share in the comments below and do share the podcast with your friends and family, but only if you like it.